Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. The 7-star PORYGON2 Tera raid event is now live in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. In today's video, we're going to go through all the details as well as the best build to solo this with in your game. So to celebrate the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, we are seeing two events for PORYGON2. There is going to be a mass outbreak event running in Paldea, Kitakami, and the Blueberry Academy. And these events are all going to have boosted shiny rates, meaning it's going to be more likely that you'll come across a shiny PORYGON2 when hunting for these Pokemon. On top of this, we're seeing a new 7-star raid as well for the PORYGON2. This one will be running from the 5th until the 15th of June and will be just appearing exclusively in Paldea. To access this event, make sure you are connected to the internet, come into your Poke Portal and then head down into Mystery Gifts and then into Check Poke Portal News. This will connect you with the servers, update all the dens and the mass outbreaks on your map, and you'll be able to locate that 7-star Tera raid event for PORYGON2. Head over to it and take it on. So the build that we're featuring in today's video is going to be Annihilape. It is going to be available in the base games of Scarlet and Violet. Hopefully you already have one in your boxes that you can just tweak for this raid. It is going to be a fighting Tera type with the held item of the Metronome. Of course, it is going to be level 100 and all those IVs are hyper trained, set to 31. Moveset, pretty straightforward, just focus energy and drain punch for this raid. And I would recommend just PP max and drain punch for this raid. The EV spread is going to be 252 EVs in attack and in special defense, with the remainder put into that HP stat, and an Adamant Nature with the Defiant ability. So your Annihilape should look like this once it's trained up in game. The build will be down in the description below if you want to take a closer look at the details. Jump into the raid now and I'll show you how easy you can take down this mightiest Mog PORYGON2. So when you first come into the raid against the 7-star PORYGON2, it's going to start off the raid with a Trick Room, flipping the dimensions so all the fastest Pokemon move last and the slowest Pokemon move first for the next 5 turns. It's only going to use this once through the raid though, so once that expires you don't need to worry about it. Turn 1, we're going to lock in with a focus energy, so that will maximize our chances of landing a critical hit for the rest of the raid whenever we do attack. We're going to primarily be taking psychics throughout this raid. There is a little bit of a drawback with that, but we're going to lock in with Drain Punch for our next turn, and that's going to be our main attacking option, as you know, throughout this raid. We're going to be taking full advantage of that Metronome item. Every time we use this move consecutively, we do get a boost to the attack power, so it means that we're going to be getting through this raid a lot quicker. Now, one of the drawbacks with Psychic is it does have a secondary effect where it can lower the special defense on our Pokemon. Double-edged sword here, because the Defiant ability will activate and give us an attack boost, so we are hitting for more damage. But we really want to try and be avoiding those special defense drops throughout this raid, because taking too many of them is going to mean that we're going to get knocked out. We're not going to be able to take the damage from this PORYGON2. So just keep an eye on that. It was one of the drawbacks with this build and making it less consistent than what I would like it to be. But otherwise, the Annihilape going to be a really easy choice for you to lean into to be able to take this PORYGON2 down. It's just something that you need to be aware of, and it can cause you a few issues. On 90% of the time remaining on the raid, it will steal some of our Tera Orb charge, so it does mean that we're going to have to take an extra turn before we are able to terrestrialize. That is going to be one of the things, and again, it is a little bit of a drawback, and an 85% of its HP all the time at remaining, it will set up that shield. So it is a pretty early shield in this raid, but we're just going to continually click in with that Drain Punch. Also, just a side note here, if you're wondering why the Psychics are doing reduced damage, it's because we have a Belly Bolt on our side of the field that has set up a light screen. So although you don't need any specific partnering Pokemon to complete this raid with Annihilape, Belly Bolt, definitely one of those ones that you want to look out for, will make this raid a lot easier. It's not essential, but like I say, the light screen that it does set up makes things a lot easier, especially if you do take any of those special defense drops throughout the raid. And then when we can terrestrialize, we'll lock in with it and we'll just continue drain punching. But hopefully those critical hits do land, and hopefully we can avoid any special defense drops, because that is the one big thing that we want to be able to avoid in this raid. Like I've said, you take 2 special defense drops from those psychics, it's going to mean that you're going to be knocked out, and it puts you way behind, meaning that the raid's probably not able to be complete. So that is one thing to just keep in mind. There is, on 65% of the HP remaining, another locked in turn, which is Discharge. That can cause you a few issues with the RNG, where it can paralyze us. So that has a 30% chance to paralyze us in the raid. And if you do get paralyzed, it's probably worth going for a heal cheer at that stage just to get rid of that, because it then would have a 1 in 4 chance of stopping you from attacking that turn. That can really slow you down and put you into a position where, again, you can be knocked out. So these are just things to consider throughout the raid if you're using Annihilape, but otherwise it is going to be a great build to bring into this one, and you're going to be able to have an easy time taking this down. We've had a lot of those powerhouse Pokemon recently where they've not been the fastest 7-star raid Pokemon to take down. This one is going to be a great one to take advantage of to farm for those high cost items. So you can see that discharge there fired off. It does nullify its stat drops on 80% of the raid timer, so it will remove those. On 70% of the raid timer, it will nullify boosts on our side of the field. But again, because we're not lowering the stats on the Porygon2 or boosting our own, these are notifications we can kind of tend to ignore throughout the raid. So just want to continually just hit that Drain Punch button and hope you dodge those special defense drops. You can see getting through this shield pretty quickly here, and one more of those will break it and be enough to take it down, and then a couple more after that should be enough to deal with this Porygon2. So when it works brilliantly. It's just there are going to be drawbacks if you're doing this farming for those high cost items, where you're going to have occasions where you do take those special defense drops throughout the raid, and it can mean that it is difficult to kind of run through with this Pokemon. But because the ease of being able to get Annihilape in the games, it is something that you don't need the DLCs for. It's probably something that you've already got in your boxes anyway. This is why I wanted to feature it, but I did want to highlight the drawbacks of this build, because there are a few that you do need to consider when going forward here, especially if you take a special defense drop. You get the Defiant ability activated, and then shortly after that, the Porygon2 nullifies that stat boost, so kind of rendering it useless, meaning that you're kind of taking that special defense drop for no reason at all, without any kind of payoff, that Defiant boost being nullified. So you can see here, we're pretty close to knocking it out. One more critical hit might get it. It might be just enough to hang on. But let me know what Pokeball you caught your Porygon2, and I toyed with the idea. I really wanted a Beast Ball, but I decided in the end for a Lure Ball. It did match the colors. Great Ball's another good choice, I think, for this Porygon2. But I'd love to know what you've went for with this one, because it is a really fun raid to run through. It's a nice surprise in homage of the Switch 2 launching Porygon2 with the 7-star raids and the mass outbreaks as well. And you can see we've got just below 50% of the raid timer. So when this build works, it works perfectly well. Just be aware of those RNG factors that can come into play here and cause you a few issues if you're running through this one over the next weekend. I don't know why it's getting these extra attacks off. We definitely have knocked it out, but just wants to get those few sucker punches in before we finish up this raid. And of course, you've got the chances of all those high cost items dropping, as well as the 5 Herba Mysticas. And wow, we get a good haul here with all those Herba Mysticas. I hope you have as much luck as I have in this one to pick up when you're running through it to get your Porygon2 when this event is running. And of course, as well, because you only get one 7-star raid appearing on your map at a time, you can then spawn a new one straight away rather than having to wait the 24 hours. If you just open your map and then hit your home menu, come down to your system settings, and then down into system, then down into date and time. Make sure your synchronized clock via the internet is off. Click into date and time and just toggle through, hit OK, hit your home menu, come back into the game, and all of your dens will respawn. So you'll then be able to locate the 7-star Tera raid for Porygon. Head over to it and kind of rinse and repeat. If you found the build that we featured in today's video useful, please consider dropping a like, and do share this around in the community to give those who might be having a harder time take this 7-star Mightiest Mark Pokemon down. Of course, as well, if you've got your own builds that you've had success with, do drop them down in the comment section below. I'd love to see what you've been having success with in this raid. And of course, if there are faster builds that I come across, I will update here on the channel as soon as possible. And if you're grabbing a Switch 2 on launch day, I hope you have a lot of fun unboxing, getting it set up, and enjoying the brand new console. It's very fun. If you're going after the Porygon 2, if you're going after the mass outbreaks, good luck with those shinies, good luck with taking down the raid, and I hope those item drops are kind to you as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, friends. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in another one very soon. So until then, take care and bye-bye.